What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's going on, everyone? I hope we are all doing extremely well. We got a ton of big news that it's not so much surprising, but I didn't expect it to happen literally a day after the Mets season was finished. And that is Luis Rojas is no longer going to be the New York Mets manager. He will not be given the opportunity to extend his contract, hence being fired. So this comes to a pretty big thing for the New York Mets. Obviously, we all know how I am with Luis Rojas. I am not the biggest Luis Rojas fan. We'll just say it at that. If you guys are OGs to the channel, you know I am not big on Rojas. Obviously, a lot of people I feel got a little attached to Rojas. Pretty much, we all know how it started. He was really rushed into this situation. A quick history story of it. As we know, Carlos Beltran was supposed to be the original manager for the New York Mets going into 2020. And then obviously due to the Astros sign cheating scandal, Beltran had taken some part in that. He figured it was the best thing to step away from the Mets and not bring any attention to them, which he did. And in return, pretty much, it was close to Major League Baseball season. It was January, February at the time of this. Only a month and a half away from spring training, really. The Mets needed a rush, and they got Luis Rojas really to fill that hole. And it was so questionable if he would be the long-term manager or just the manager for that season. Obviously, we all know what happened in the world at that time. And then pretty much we had the 60-game season. Rojas made a lot of weird moves in the 60-game season, whether it was not standing up for his players, how he handled double switches, lefty on righty, lefty on righty, lefty on lefty shenanigans, that type of stuff. And a lot of people, kind of, cut it with him. They said, you know what? It's fine. Give him some slack. He's being rushed into the situation. I refer to it as the honeymoon phase. You can't really judge him off of 60 games being rushed into that. And, everyone said 2021 would be a new clean slate for him. And sadly enough, he came into the season. We know the Mets offense really is what killed the Mets this season. And as he stated, baseball is a result-oriented game. Most of the failures in any sport really goes down to the manager, how certain plays are. So that's going to be a big thing going ahead for the Mets. Now, Mets are going to be looking for a manager. We know in 2021 how the season went down for the Mets. One of the most unfortunate collapses for the Mets. Definitely a very unfortunate collapse for the Mets. Being in first place for over 3 months and then pretty much collapsing at the last minute. We saw how Luis Rojas handled the season. At first, a lot of people wanted him extended. SMY people like Andy Martino wanted a contract extension. And to be honest with you, he was being in talks of being manager of the year, in around June, May. And that is because Rojas was given a different lineup every single day, whether it had Blankenhorn, Tovar, Williams, all these AAA guys, because all the Mets were getting injured. You had all these AAA guys come on, and he was able to make it work. And then pretty much you got your regular guys back, and Rojas went back to, I guess, really what was expected. Rojas did not really have much urgency when the Mets were kind of falling apart. We saw Cardinals game was a big example. The Dodgers game was a big example. Just so many examples that Luis Rojas had. And, arguably Luis Rojas is responsible for at least a solid double digits losses. We saw the most famous one, I think, was in the Phillies series, bases loaded, no outs. Marcus Stroman up to the plate. Luis Rojas told Stroman to keep the bat on his hand, not even get the double play to give in a run. What else was there with the Los Angeles Dodgers? Luis Rojas put in Jeurys Familia to face Will Smith, who has a much favorable OPS against lefties, but he put in a righty opposed to a lefty like Aaron Loop. So a lot of things like that was very questionable for Luis Rojas. Personally, I think he's a great guy. He cares a lot for his players. He's been in this Mets organization for over a dozen years. I would like him to stick around, not as a manager. Do I think he will? It'd be a little awkward in terms of tensions. You're the manager and then you get demoted. Could still happen. But personally, I think Luis Rojas, as of right now, would probably go out and look for a small market team. And I think down the line, he could definitely be a successful manager. It's just the Mets need success now. The Mets want to win now, not 4 to 5 years or whenever Rojas could wake up as a well manager. So, that's just going to be something the Mets are going to have to look at. So I just wanted to upload this video, let you guys know my thoughts, everything about Luis Rojas. I was very kind of shocked when I heard this news. Didn't expect it this early, but you know what? Playoffs, it's playoff season now. Free agency, all that stuff starts pretty much after the World Series. So you want to get the front office moving, get those new acquisitions in soon as possible. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you can, turn on those post notifications, hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. LFGM. Till next time, baseball fans. See ya.